Well, hello everyone. While we're waiting for the fresh start servers to open, I thought I would help those of you who are brand new or returning to Lost Ark after a long break, refresh your memory on all of the important basics in the game. I'm here at the character selection screen, and I wanted to mention that all of the things you want to do with your characters in Lost Ark is done via this screen. You get yourself a reskin ticket from within the game. You take it in your bag, you consume it, it disappears, but it gets applied to your account. You come here, you reskin your character. Changing your name, the same thing. Using a power pass, the same thing. You're going to have free power passes also to use on the Fresh Start servers. All of them are being used here, claimed in game, consumed, and used from this screen. Another thing I wanted to mention since we are here is actually two more things. First of all, a video setting which implies forcing 21 by 9 aspect ratio. I just want you to take a look here where this ship is, and I want you to see the big difference when I force this ratio. You see this much more of the game in general. Myself, I get a black stripe top and bottom. However, if you have a native 21 by 9 screen, this is going to come in obviously big handy because you get to see more of the fast-paced combat and the mechanics and PvP as well. Another thing I wanted to mention since we're here is that whenever you want to get a character out of your sight, and I'm going to show you in a second what out of your sight means, you come again to the character selection screen, the delete button, type the name. It doesn't actually delete the character fully from your roster. It just basically hides it. In a day from now, you could potentially come back and select this character and press the delete button again, after which it's going to be permanently gone from your account. And now that I've logged into the game, I can show you what I mean by getting a character out of sight. It's this button right here, this particular screen. You're going to be using this screen a lot in Lost Ark because this is how you swap in between characters. You don't actually go back to the character selection screen and select them from there. A few more important settings since we already discussed 21 by 9 aspect ratio. Here in accessibility you have the cursor in case you find it hard to track your cursor during content. Then you can have it light blue and then you can have it larger, apply, and then this is how it looks right now. You have here combat related settings. I would like to mention this attack direction indicator. Some classes in Lost Ark prefer to attack from the front, some classes prefer to attack from the back. Here you can configure a stripe of color that is placed in front of a boss and also at the back of a boss. For example, for me, I know that back is blue. I don't want to be there on my destroyer, and I always go towards the white. This makes it easier for me to remember and see with an indicator underneath the boss also where I need to stand and better position myself. Battle messages is something that I find pretty fun because it tells you a line in chat whenever someone counters an attack, and so you know who did it and the other ones didn't. You can troll your teammates a little bit like that, who used the battle item, etc. So it's a little bit more fun with this turned on. And in display settings, I would like to mention a couple of things as well. First of all, here, combat outline. This shows a white glow around your character while you are in combat, so you can see it better in case you're behind a wall, a door, a bigger boss. Display my pet and display other people's pets. Seeing other people's pets is quite annoying in my opinion, but seeing mine, I find it quite useful because I don't have a keybind for it. I just prefer to control right click it, and if I need to repair my gear while someone is starting a fight, I can just do that quickly, assuming I actually see my pet. Also in gameplay display settings, we have item acquisition notification. Right align notifications makes the items that you get from the ground in your bag, that your pet loots or that you loot, be displayed a little bit to the side of the screen, and so it leaves more room for your viewing pleasure as you play. And simplify notifications basically shortens the name of most items that you get. So it looks a little bit less cluttered on your screen. And lastly, also in gameplay, display settings, display effects. This setting right here, I have mine set to include buff effects of party members. This implies that I don't see anyone else's skill effects in the group or the raid except mine and the positive effects from my support if I have one in my group. Supports sometimes leave telegraphs on the ground with healing, with various buffs, and I want to see them so I can move into them if I need to. If you will select display all targets, that means Lost Ark is going to look like a clown fiesta, like a circus for you. Now let's dive into everything that's important on your screen. For those of you who are brand new to the game, this is your first time looking at this, you boost straight to 50, you're like, whoa, there's like maybe so many buttons and so many menus, and what does this do, what does that do? Underneath your minimap, you have a series of buttons that are shortcuts to various systems in the game or various parts of the game. If I were to recommend you a couple of buttons, because you can remove some, add some others, if I were to recommend you a few, I would say the Bifrost, the Market, the Procleon's Compass, Find Party, and the Content List. And since we mentioned them, let me tell you a little bit about them, because these are actually important features of the game. The Bifrost system is an instant teleport system that allows you to save a location. Like, for example, I'm going to register this point as my recall, and then I can move a little bit further, press the move, pay a little bit of silver, and move straight back to that point. Now this, excuse me, helps very much with your daily quests. How do you get 2 more slots? Well, you get them from the premium membership, the Crystalline Aura, which I currently do not have. It offers you, one of the perks are 2 more Bifrost slots. And since we have opened the Crystalline Aura menu, this is the premium membership in Lost Ark, which you can acquire either with real money or you can acquire them with crystal. However, another perk that I wanted to mention as a highlight of the Crystalline Aura on top of the extra 2 Bifrost slots is the pet function. The pet function, which allows you to use your pet as a remote warehouse, a remote repair tool, a remote marketplace. It comes in very handy during content when you're in Legion raids and you're progressing and you die very often, you want to repair your gear, or you forgot to buy your pots or whatever. It's a very nice feature to have. Should you absolutely have a premium membership in Lost Ark? The pet feature is actually important enough to warrant paying for a premium membership, because if, for example, you die and you actually need to repair your gear, or you're without pots or whatever, all of your raid group unfortunately needs to exit that raid for you to go and repair somewhere in town because you don't have a premium. Let's continue with more important features for new players that you might want to keep an eye for. The Procleon's Compass. This one tells you what are the events for today. So I can see that there is a field boss ongoing right today at various hours. I can also see that there is a ghost ship event today. There is no Chaos Gate today, and there is also the Adventure Island, which I can click this button and see which Adventure Islands are available and what are the rewards for them. Some Adventure Islands, you just do them because they give you some card packs. Some of them you just go there because you want a cosmetic or the island soul. The most important Adventure Island to take part in is the one that gives you gold as a reward. And this leads me to the other side of the screen, which is this tracker. This is a very important tool that everyone in Lost Ark uses to keep track of whatever's coming next. You can definitely configure this and set up notifications or turn them off. The content list menu also has a shortcut that can be placed underneath your minimap, and this is basically a TLDR of every piece of content that can be done with other players in Lost Ark. There is more content than this, even more instance content that can be done solo, for example. However, this is the bread and butter. Everything you need to know about content in Lost Ark is right here in front of you. However, if you make your own group, that is done from a different menu, which is the Find Party menu. This is the place that most people use to apply to specific groups for various pieces of content and just join other players. And then from here, the party leader will be able to enter a specific raid or a dungeon. Here you have your daily login rewards. This is going to look different on the fresh start servers, but don't forget to click this menu and redeem stuff. Here you have your playtime rewards. The more you play on a daily basis, the more you can claim. And obviously premium membership we already discussed. View calendar, nobody cares about this feature, so don't even bother. Battle items are very important in Lost Ark. Just a quick note on the potions. These are the only potions that you can use in content that matters, such as Legion raids, Guardian raids, etc. So when you see a potion that gives you HP or called HP potion, then you know that that's the one you're looking for. I don't even, actually I do have the other type of potions. These you can only use in open world and in chaos dungeons, but there you don't need to use potions. So they're kind of pointless in that sense. This is what you're looking for. However, on top of the potion, which is also called a battle item, there are a gazillion other battle items, each for different situations, in different Legion raids, Guardian raids, etc. Now, obviously, you should learn how to use and when to use these battle items and what to carry on you for different kind of content. But generally speaking, you would like to have, for example, a whirlwind grenade in your bag, a destruction bomb. You would like to have, based on the class that you play, an atropine or a stimulant. These marching flags are also very good because they give you movement speed. Sleep bombs come in handy. Sometimes dark grenades are very useful in some situations. Time stop potions, flares, and also pheromone bombs come in handy in different pieces of content. The ones that I've just named are the main ones, the most important ones, and you should always look to maybe open the boxes that you're going to be getting for free from Amazon on the fresh start servers, and just to have like 50 or 100 of each. Chaos shards allow you to use your awakening skill, and starting with today it will be also roster wide. Lastly, I did want to make a quick note on all of these boxes and chests that you're going to have plenty of on the fresh start servers. First of all, many of them can be placed in the roster warehouse, right? So other characters on your account can take advantage of their contents. But if you want to use them yourself and you're confused as to wait, which material I should select, the general rule is that you always select the highest one, because it's generally the most expensive and the hardest one to find, right? While these ones are very, very cheap. However, on the fresh start servers, it's actually very helpful, and there's no shame in selecting a tier 2 material just because you have a couple of tier 2 olds boosted to 50 with the Northern Pass, and you want to just get them to 1250 so they can also take part in the last tier, tier 3, right? Where more exciting content comes about. So yeah, feel free to do that. Don't open every single box and use tier 2 materials, right? Or tier 2 shards. But just saying, on occasion, 5-6 bags for each character just to get it through the day, that's absolutely no problem. The dismantle feature is very important. Every gear in Lost Ark will eventually get dismantled, unless it's a piece you want to use or most likely sell on the auction house. Other than that, dismantle. The auto dismantle feature is something that whenever you loot from the ground, it just gets rid of the stuff you don't want to have in your bag. Whenever you get items like I have these accessories that you get from a box or from extra Legion raid rewards, you just click to get them. That's not automatically taken by the auto dismantle. So you're gonna have to sort through a lot of trash on a daily basis in Lost Ark just to get rid of bad accessories. However, you can take my preset right here and use it yourself. So just to explain a couple of things, I am right now auto dismantling everything that's relic grade or below, everything that's tier 3 or below, and also if the item has domination, endurance, and expertise on it, it's gonna be automatically gone from my bag as well. The only items I wanna keep are the ones that have crit, specialization, and swiftness, which is why these boxes are unticked. Also, I need them to be with 2 or more engravings on them from my favorite engravings. So these are my settings, and if I were to take a look at the engraving system, this is how you favorite an engraving. You click this blue compass right here. Now I've clicked side focus, which means that the auto dismantle setting is now going to also keep in mind accessories that has side focus and another engraving that I have bookmarked from the list of engravings. Which ones to bookmark, which ones to leave out. You're gonna take it a little bit slower and learn these things yourself. It would make it such a long video if I would go through each engraving and tell you that. Don't forget to bookmark your class engravings. Very important, because you do not want the auto dismantle feature to just get rid of good stuff as well. I wanted to talk about the gems, the gem feature as well. This is the fuse gem button. There is another system in Lost Ark. Here in your character profile, for example, the gems. There is various levels of gems in game, starting from level 1 all the way up until level 10. The auto fuse system takes 3 of the same level gems and of the same tier and fuses them into one higher level gems. So 3 level 1s into 1 level 2, 3 level 2s into 1 level 3. Now, there's also an auto fuse setting, which I would like to point out. I have mine selected to fuse every single gem that comes into my bag, tier 3 or below, and up until level 6. So this system is going to always leave me with level 6 gems untouched. It doesn't fuse them further into 7s, for example. Why is that? Simply because I find level 6 gems to be usable, and so I don't want them to be auto-combined because you can never uncombine them or defuse them. A note on your skills, then this is very important. If you open the combat skills menu, you have here a button called settings. This is the place where you assign skill points to your skills, assign runes to your skills, and basically create your skill build. The best way to find a skill build is to watch a guide for it, okay? However, I'm assuming that you have watched this guide and you are in the know-how of what's important. Pressing the settings menu right here gets you to a place where you can bookmark various skilled tripods that are available to be bookmarked. The same logic as with bookmarking engravings, so that you would notice them in your bag as being highlighted, and so that the auto dismantle settings feature doesn't destroy them right away, but instead keeps them. The same thing here. And skill tripods, high level skill tripods on your skills, is a gigantic power spike, and this right here, this menu should be one of your first priorities, because you will start acquiring gear from Chaos Dungeons. These perks come on armor and weapon, fodder armor and weapon, and you will start acquiring them very early, and it's a shame to just have them be destroyed or not notice them and destroy them yourself. Let's go through a couple of other important features that might not be so obvious. The mass preset feature, I found it in this menu right here at the top, mass preset. So this allows you to set specific builds, maybe even using the same gems that you have for one into the other, but with a different set of gear, possibly, maybe different engraving setup when you get there, assuming you want to actually do Chaos Dungeons with a set of gear fit for Chaos Dungeons, the same gear that you're wearing, but then the game changes the type of set you have when you enter Legion raids, because you maybe want a more boss-focused set of gear. So this, the mass preset, is something that you configure, and then upon going to, for example, Chaos Dungeons, you add it here from the mass presets that you have saved. This is the mass preset I want to go into Chaos Dungeons with. This is the one I want to go into Legion raids with. Una's tasks, you should actually have a keybind set for this, because you're going to be doing it every day on as many characters as you have available on your roster. These are your daily quests, your weekly quests, and also your guild quests, assuming you are in a guild. Reputation is just occasional rewards as you finish some dailies or a track of specific dailies. You can claim some rewards at the end of that track. Doing daily quests is very important in Lost Ark, because it gives you these tokens called Una's tokens that you can later exchange at any gold shop marked with a yellow icon in every major town for boxes that give you gold. So super important menu, super important feature, dailies and weeklies, and super important tokens. The universal storage button is like a black box to me, like a Christmas tree, right? Because whenever this button does appear, it's not always here, by the way, but when it does appear, it means you have some stuff to redeem. And generally speaking, you find cool little things here. Do check it and do redeem these things that you have here when you see the button being active. Your pets are also here. Having several pets is actually valuable, because just having one pet for crit and then the other pet for specialization makes it so that when you set up those builds in those templates, you can select a different kind of pet if you play a crit build, and a different kind of pet if you play a specialization build. And if you have a premium membership, you also get these features right here. Other than that, the pet serves a very important role for everyone, which is to auto loot. Every person that plays Lost Ark will get this white bunny, and the white bunny pet and pets in general are roster shared. And you will get one for free from a quest in the first ever town called Leonhardt, in the zone called Retramis. The Codex is basically the wiki for Lost Ark, the in-game wiki, and it contains almost everything that you can possibly imagine. I used to absolutely love this system back when I was new in 2018. And in case you're new, you can use it in the same way. If someone doesn't answer your question in guild chat or LFG, you can come here and see, hey, where do I get a powerful storm of soaring, or a quest item, or a scale that I need for this or that? And it tells you a list of places that you can get stuff from. The card catalog button is also here, and it's important. It pains me to say it because I absolutely hate this feature, but it's part of the vertical progression in the game. Sets of cards are popular to have based on the class that you play. Some sets of cards, like the Light of Salvation, is generally seen as the best set of cards, assuming it's enchanted enough. And here is the place where you configure them. Here is also the place where you enchant your cards and get them to higher and higher ranks, right? It's not that important how it works. It's very simple. You're going to discover it yourself. But just saying, you can create presets here. It's important to know that you get cards in your bag in the form of a card, you consume it, and then it goes to that menu where you can enchant it, equip it, create a set with it, etc. And then later on, these sets of cards that you've created can be equipped in the mass preset menu, which can be applied to various pieces of content like we discussed earlier. The Book of Coordination is another menu that maybe a little bit later down the road you're going to want to take a look at. This is the place where you select or configure, create your build for PvP, Trial Guardian Raids, which is the equalized, very hard mode version of Guardian Raids, and also the Inferno mode of Legion Raids. All of these pieces of content, they don't take your gear into account. They take the gear and the build and the engravings that you can configure here for free. Here are your horizontal pieces of content or menus for them. You have the Adventure Tome, the Rapport System, and the Collectibles. The Adventure Tome is something that you shouldn't forget to take a look at, especially after you boost your character to South Vern. You're gonna have like maybe 20-30% discovered or completed for each of the continents until South Vern. And so there are like the first two rewards are going to be available for you to just redeem from here right away. And some of them are pretty decent and useful vertically speaking, also like the Overwhelm rune, for example. Rapport is another piece of horizontal content, not important by any stretch of the imagination. It does give you roster level. The more NPCs you befriend and the more gifts you receive from them, you get a roster level. So of course that's helpful. However, other than that, with very, very rare exceptions, it's just something that is flat horizontal. But the most important perks this menu offers is, one, you can redeem all of your rapport gifts from it with the claim all button, assuming you would have something to redeem. And the second thing is this button right here, preferred gifts. This tells me not only what gifts do I have in my bag and how many points are they worth with her, but also which gift gives me the most amount of points with her. Which gift does she like the most? And so from rapport selection boxes from your bag, you would be selecting only this, assuming you're working to rapport Ealin right now. And then lastly, you have your collectibles menu. Collectibles, again, many of them, some of them, not many of them, are very important. Like, for example, Island Souls, up until 20 Island Souls, which is here, you get a skill point potion that gives you 6 skill points. This is nice to have, and it's really not hard to get 20 Island Souls. Another one would be, for example, the Giant Hearts. These ones up until here, this is 12 Giant Hearts. It gives you a variety of skill points along the way. I'm talking about vertical stuff right now, obviously, that you get from this horizontal content. And then you have the Omnium Stars. Omnium Stars, which again, here at 6 Omnium Stars, you get another 6-point skill point potion. And that was everything for refreshing your memory on Lost Ark's basic but important features, things to keep in mind. There's a lot more that you're going to discover, but not something that, hey, I need to pay attention to that day one. You can take it step by step. I wish you lots of fun on the Lost Ark Fresh Start servers. Maybe we're even going to see each other in LFG. After all, we are just one server here locked in together, so we might as well be friends. Until my next video, I wish you stay safe and take it easy.